you agree it's a cruel, cruel fate? If I was working every day with all these diaries about my work and human rights and humanity, and I was asking for human trafficking help, and all the evidence is suddenly gone. I've got quite a lot of evidence, but isn't it weird that that was my reality and I've never changed that reality, and suddenly my young face that I healed was ruined, and there's this pipeline creating masses of communism all over the world. So they've hidden, it's almost like they've camouflaged me as this hateful, hard, cold, nasty, narcissistic woman that I never was. And in this time, they've made all this young girls a massive image of kind of like how I was before I got ruined. And that's all I was fighting for 3 years ago, is that I got my face ruined and I want to finish my intellectual work and I have this book to write. And I think because they didn't want me to ever be found again, they just silenced me with a lot of sexual violence down in Christchurch so that nobody would ever know the truth, and started offering a lot of money for people to have makeovers and things like this. And so everybody looks like they're young and beautiful and are acting like me with my work, and I just got erased from everything that I was, and aged and basically brutally robbed by all my exes. And I believe there's been articles written about my exes. They all got together and started a genocide, and I believe there's an article about it, and it's written in code, and it was written about how it was a temple of bones. So they restructured my love and my heart, and they've made me this hated woman, that I'm a fucking arsehole. God, you want to look at my face and punch it. And that's the cruelty, is they've erased that compassion when I was persecuted unfairly and unjustly. And why have I got a history of compassion? And why have they stopped all the roads back to my past to be able to get diversity and justice and equality? Because I was never less than any of these women. I was pretty much on par. We just had different strengths. Like I had my youth and I had my work history. Some of them had more money, came from rich homes. Some of them were younger and had more youth than me. Some of them had loads more opportunities or masses of like connections to VIPs and things like this. We all had different strengths. Like I had a lot of people I knew, but the thing is the three of them and all these other 7 guys got together and targeted all my networks. So it was an Epstein kind of killing, because it's like a mass group of gangs and all this gang hazing to get these people to do all this rough, evil stuff to me and lie about me, and then they just kept running comedy. So all the truth got erased in 3 years. All of me got erased. And then the whole thing is the people are saying the Chinese and the Iranians want to erase your fame. So I don't know, they're running some Chinese restaurant or something, erasing me. And so in this time, they've just made me the most joked, hate. They've persecuted my flesh because of how I look for more than 3 or 4 years, and said that she was more beautiful and only love her. And it's a tragedy to me, because it's actually my skin. It's actually my compassionate heart and the things that I've worked for. But due to years and years of this persecution, it's like almost 7 years, and then denying me the right to my femininity, because that was part of my Texas too. I said, you won't let me be a woman. You're constantly putting me under stress. And these guys were hacking my phone saying Ace Card Bob. And so they've turned me into a massive SpongeBob torture joke, and have really erased that I was a compassionate woman that followed. It's like I do follow Christ, but I'm not my mum our family were like New Age spirituality, and I still am somebody that was I think I'm easily manipulated by religion, and I hadn't completely formed an opinion over Christianity, but what I have seen of it, I didn't have any negative experiences till this church was built that was doing a whole lot of false donations and doing money laundering. And then so I'm being blamed because I whistle blew, and I'm being denied all this work. Like, they took my phone and they said they were doing a smart swap. So they started swapping that I was really intellectual and that I was actually a preppy girl that was really focused on my dreams and goals. And now, like, everything about that Lovely Bones is really similar to what happened to me. So maybe these guys do this to a lot of girls. So they take them into torture dungeons, ruin their innocence, and turn them into dogs. Because it's really strange how they placed a dog next to her when she got taken to the dungeon, and they said that's how she died in the field. And that's what I found when I was in Australia. I was on the train and I saw them putting a dead body on the field, and I knew. And I tell you what happened when my grandmother died. My mother was at school and she saw my grandmother being she saw a dead body under a sheet, and she knew my grandmother had passed. Like, she also used to have a psychic gift, and I just knew on that train that I'd been raped in some field. And later on, someone actually printed an article in a book saying that they had found my body in a field or something where I'd been raped. And then they all were doing all these courses to take over the reign of everything I'm good at. So anything to do with art or writing, they were all doing massive courses in that 3 years campaign that I was ugly, to make sure that they were better at everything that I do. So I never got a voice. Like, they're still keeping me trash and small, where they all became superstars and Epsteined me, and I think they were using me on the TV. Like, what's the price of this face? What is the price of her face? And it was real cruel, inhumane. And I just got silenced because all the communities, all the neighbours were targeted by this military force, saying to not help me, that I'm very mentally ill and mentally unstable. And so it's almost like there's so much covering up and I can't ever find the truth. It's horrible, because I know even the women said, all these women have said that I was being persecuted as a grifter all down the road, and that I was being hated for being this ugly trash, and that I'd been trashed underground by this Nova Festival, that I'm trash quality by John and this Angelina, and that I was in some van scam, that I was a very horrible person. And they just went on this mission to destroy everything great about me. And I don't know what to do. Like, I just feel trapped in a box, and I've campaigned about the work situation and my liver. I did this campaign about that. I think I've got photos of it, and I campaigned against the persecution, and this whole time they've just been my friends in East, after getting into some millionaire Epstein club, just killed the real truth about who I am and my origin, and killed me with this bus. And that's a sign of fascism, where they basically erase your past so they can control all the future. So they've made a whole lot of other girls. That was the other report I read, is that the military were doing such illegal experiments on me underground and it was spirituality, and it was about my kindness. They were obsessed about my kindness. So they were really doing these inhumane experiments, apparently, on what's sensitivity. And so now the public face I have is like a really hard, ugly woman that's toxic and a witch, and that I've been a miserable no one all these years, while my ex is so loving and handsome, and he's lived and he gets the rewards of life of being a married great man, and I'm just a toxic ugly woman. But it wasn't true. Like, they've told you this story for 3 years and erased me by a massive national murder, but really I'm still that innocent girl. I just had my face and my house robbed by violence, and then I got my truth robbed by this massive regime. And then they got my mum too, and my mum said she was in trouble and blackmailed and couldn't help me. And I just got told that these bees had paid billions of dollars to kill me underground, and from what I could gather, they were trying to make out that I had multiple personalities and I'm a real nut job under there. So, and I was trying to tell my mum, I'm not. That's not me. I'm like an INFJ. I'm kind and compassionate, and I've done all this kindness for people. And it's so I've done, even with my mum, when she has helped me a lot, I didn't know how to help her back. So I used to wash her car every week to show her that I cared. And see, she doesn't. The thing is I don't think she took the kindness as being thoughtful and that I respected her and wanted to give back. I think she thinks that I'm acting like I'm like a loser or something, but it wasn't. It was that they won't let me go to work all these years. There was massive smear campaigns all over Australia lying about me, stealing, all sorts of stuff, all these years. Masses and masses of false information and propaganda to erase the young, beautiful, spiritual being and compassionate, and they've reduced me down to an ugly old fat pig that's a whore that is unworthy of all these men that they've put, like they've given them instant money, like some of them, one of them was a dole bludger and now he's like a superstar all over the world and a massive tycoon of all this property, like this massive trillionaire property of Wolf Rook. That's why there is no reality. It's just this massive settlers putting in huge money and massive government corruption. And honestly, in 3 years, I've evaporated. Just the toilet videos, the first thing that evaporated me. Then these smear campaigns online, like weird things, dialogues that are unthinkable, the unthinkable chats, like completely warping who I was and dehumanizing me. Like, why would you hang around that? Look at the thing. It's a fat thing. It's a very ugly thing. It's a scarecrow. It's God. It thinks it's like worthy of life. Like really making me hated and devalued. And it's like really persecution. And they should have let me go to Sweden. And for some reason, due to greed, they advertised it over there too. All these girls over there, and stopped me doing anything intellectual, and have just kept me like I'm a simple kind of precious, and is saying that my dad raped me and gave me HIV. And I'm saying, so where's all my tests to say that I've got HIV? Why can't I get the results? I would never want to live with HIV. I don't have sex with anybody. And there's all these things that the Swedish guy is cancelling the truth by sailing here, and he started a rape thing of these men, and he's part of the bear. That's Kayla's mate. So they told me to stay in his boat, and the whole time he's an Epstein kind of guy too, and he's been part of this rape, my favourite bike violence. So I want some help uncovering the torture and the truth that they're trying to bury.